The Grand Galactic Games had been held for over 4 centuries, drawing competitors from across the known universe. Every species that belonged to the Interstellar Federation participated, showcasing their physical prowess in events tailored to demonstrate the peak capabilities of sentient life. The Talarians dominated strength competitions with their 6 muscular arms and crystalline bones. The Voidlings, with their ability to manipulate personal gravity, consistently swept the levitation and flight events. The aquatic Deepkin ruled any water-based challenges with their natural adaptations for extreme pressure environments. And then, there were the humans. For the past 50 years since Earth had joined the Federation, human athletes had been the source of countless jokes. Their fragile bone structure, single-gravity physiology, and limited environmental adaptations made them seem almost comical among the galactic elite. At best, they placed mid-tier in endurance events, their one saving grace being their stubborn persistence. Tom walked through the athlete village, ignoring the snickering sounds that followed him. As one of Earth's representatives in the upcoming Core Stability Challenge, he had grown used to the mockery. The event was considered one of the most grueling tests in the games. Participants had to maintain a complex energy field configuration while withstanding gravitational forces that could crush most beings. "Look," hissed a Talarian to his teammate. "The soft bones thinks he can compete tomorrow." Tom kept walking. He had trained for 3 years, pushing his body beyond what medical experts thought possible. His coaches had developed techniques that merged human meditation practices with Federation technology, creating a unique approach to the event. The next morning, the Core Stability Challenge drew massive crowds. The arena was filled with species from hundreds of worlds, all eager to witness the traditional spectacle. 12 competitors stood on the starting platforms, their forms varying wildly, from the ethereal voidlings to the massive stone-like quarians, and Tom, looking impossibly small among them. The first phase began. Gravitational forces gradually increased as each competitor tried to maintain their energy field. One by one, participants began to falter. The Deepkin, despite their pressure resistance, fell when the gravity reached 12 standard units. 2 Talarians collapsed at 15 units, their superior strength no match for the sustained pressure. Tom's field remained stable, a perfect blue sphere around him. The crowd's laughter had turned to murmurs of surprise. No human had ever made it past the first phase. At 20 units of gravitational force, only 4 competitors remained. The Quarian's rock-like body began to crack under the strain. A Voidling's natural levitation abilities proved useless against the intense pull. Tom's breathing remained steady, his mental focus absolute. He had spent months in Earth's highest altitude training centers, learning to maintain clarity under extreme physical stress. 25 units. The Quarian finally fell, leaving 3 competitors. At 30 units, the arena fell completely silent. This was unprecedented territory for the competition. Most species' bones would shatter under such forces. The final Voidling competitor wavered, her energy field beginning to fluctuate. She looked at Tom with what might have been surprise, then collapsed as her field dissipated entirely. Now it was just Tom and Crix, a renowned Talarian champion who had won this event 3 times previously. 35 units. Crix's crystalline bones, famous for their strength, were visibly straining. His energy field pulsed erratically. Tom closed his eyes, drawing upon every meditation technique he had learned. His trainers had discovered that human consciousness, developed through millions of years of tool use and abstract thinking, could maintain incredibly complex mental patterns under stress, a perfect match for stabilizing energy fields. 40 units. Crix roared in pain and determination, but his field collapsed. The Talarian staggered out of the competition area, defeated. Tom stood alone, his energy field a steady beacon of blue light. The gravitational force continued to increase, now at 42 units, a new record for the event. The arena was completely silent. Not even the mockery remained, only a stunned recognition of what they were witnessing. At 45 units, Tom finally allowed his field to collapse. He fell to his knees, breathing heavily but conscious, and looked up at the crowd. The silence broke into thunderous applause. Species that had ridiculed humans for decades were now on their feet, acknowledging what had just occurred. Crix approached Tom, his multiple arms helping the human to his feet. "How?" the Talarian asked simply. Tom smiled, exhausted but triumphant. "We humans don't have the strongest bodies or the best natural abilities, but we've survived on a world that constantly tried to kill us. We learned to endure, to adapt, to keep going when everything told us to quit. That's our strength." The other competitors gathered around, no longer seeing a soft bones, but a worthy competitor who had just redefined the limits of the event. From that day forward, the phrase human endurance entered galactic common speech, no longer as a joke but as a term of respect. Training centers across the Federation began studying human mental resilience techniques. And Tom? He returned to Earth a hero, but more importantly, he had opened a door. The next year's Games saw increased human participation across all events, with coaches from various species eager to learn what other surprises humanity might hold. The universe had learned a simple lesson: never underestimate a species that refuses to give up. In subsequent years, humans would go on to develop innovations in multiple events, combining their unique mental capabilities with Federation technology in ways no one had anticipated. The Interstellar Games became not just a competition of physical prowess, but a celebration of diverse approaches to challenges. Tom's record of 45 units stood for 7 years, until a human-trained voidling competitor, using techniques developed from human meditation practices, pushed it to 47 units. But by then, the paradigm had shifted. The humans were no longer ridiculed. They had earned their place among the stars, not through natural physical gifts, but through an indomitable spirit that proved to be their greatest strength of all. And in the archives of the Interstellar Federation, the 49th Galactic Games would forever be remembered as the year everything changed. The year a human showed the universe that sometimes the mind's strength can overcome any physical limitation.